Good morning, everyone. In banking, especially when you're working as a credit manager, the analysis of balance sheet is something we do all the time. So it is very, very important tools that help us to assess overall financial health of the company. Having said that, some important parameters that we often overlook during this process. We might just copy and paste up these calculations without truly understanding their significance. So one of those important parameters is the holding period. So now the question is, what is the meaning of holding period and why it is so important from banking perspective? So don't worry, in this video I help you to understand the importance of holding period to assess the business model of that particular company. In banking, it is categorized into three categories, that is inventory holding period, creditor holding period and debtor holding period. As far as the inventory holding period is concerned, I have already made a video on inventory holding period. So I request you to watch that video for better clarity. The link of that video is available on pinned comment. So now talking about the debtor and creditor holding period. But before moving ahead, first we need to understand what is the meaning of debtor and creditor and how they are generated during the course of the business. Basically, debtor are the part of the sales and it's generated from the sales of the company. So let's take an example for better understanding. Let's say एक ABC company है, इसने 100 rupees की sell की, but end of the day that company actually receive 80 rupees against 100. So it means that 20 rupees of amount are yet to be received. So this 20 rupees automatically become the part of the debtor because debtor is the part of the sale. So since debtor are the part of the sale, hence debtor and sales both are mutually interconnected with each other. So likewise, same concept apply होता है in case of creditor. Let's say same ABC company has purchased the raw material somewhere around 60 rupees. But that company actually paid rupees 40 against 60. So it means 20 rupees ऐसा है, that amount yet to be paid. So this 20 rupees automatically become the part of the creditor. So just like a debtor, the cost of purchase and creditor both are mutually interconnected with each other. So if you understand these interlinked concepts, then it would be very easy to understand debtor and creditor holding period. And most fascinating part is that you don't need to apply any complex formula to calculate the holding period. So you can do just in a 5 seconds. So now let's understand the debtor holding period. So let's look at a profit and loss account of this ABC company. Here you can see this is the net sale of the company. And if you look at the balance sheet of this ABC company, here you find this is the position of debtor at the end of this financial year 23 to 24. So as a banker, most of the cases we generally assume the position of debtor that are reflected at the end of the year are being maintained at same level throughout the year for calculation of debtor holding period. But it is not happening in all the cases. The position of debtor could be differ from industry to industry, especially in those industries which are doing the seasonal business. In that case, the position of debtor could be at peak level or lower level at the end of the year. So it's all depend on industry to industry. So let's take an example of XYZ company, which is doing the business of winter garment. So if you look at the business model of this XYZ company, you will find that the purchasing of raw material basically start from the month of April and it would continue till the end of the month of July. And the manufacturing process is also going on along with the processing. So during these months, the holding period of raw material would be at peak level. And after the completion of manufacturing process, company has started the sale of the product from the month of August and it goes up to end of the month of November. So during these months, the holding level of debtor would be at peak level and it automatically started reduce the holding period of debtor from the month of December. When the retailer get the payment from the customer, this subsequently payment made to the company. So the debtor position at the end of the March month could be at lower side. So the formula which we generally consider for calculation of holding period is proved wrong. So in those cases where you feel the position of debtor could be differ because of its seasonal business, then you just calculate the holding period of at least last 6 months on the basis of monthly stock statements submitted by the party. But in this video, I'm just going to assume the position of debtor that are reflected at the end of the year are being maintained at same level throughout the year, जो most of the cases में हम bankers करते हैं. So now let's calculate the debtor holding period without putting any sort of formula. So let's say the sale of ABC company is 100 and the position of debtor is 20 at the end of this financial year 23 to 24. So we can say ABC company has made a sale of rupees 100 over the period of 365 days. So on average, 1 rupee sold होगा in how many days? That is 365 by 100. So likewise, the sale of rupees 20 would be in how many days? That is 365 by 100 multiplied by 20. So since the data are generated from the sales of the company, hence this 20 rupees is considered as the part of the sale, right? Okay, so this means it take about 73 days on average for ABC to receive payment from their debtors. So this is holding period of this ABC company. So now talking about the creditor holding period. So just like a debtor, the cost of purchase and creditor both are mutually interconnected with each other in case of creditor holding period. So if you look at the profit and loss account of this ABC company, here you can see this is the cost of purchase, or you can see the cost of goods sold. And this is the position of creditor, or you can say the payable in the balance sheet of the company at the end of this financial year 23 to 24. Okay, so now we calculate the creditor holding period. Let's say the ABC company has purchased the raw material, or you can say the inventory of rupees 60 in over the period of 365 days. So on average, 1 rupees की purchase होगी in how many days? That is 365 by 60. Likewise, 20 rupees की purchase होगी in how many days? That is 365 by 60 multiplied by 20. These ABC usually take about 122 days to pay off their creditor, right? So as a banker, it is important to assess whether these holding periods are in line with industry standard. So if the holding period are significantly longer, then it could be red flag that indicates some potential issue in the business. So next time when you analyze the balance sheet, you just don't copy and paste up these calculations. Take a closer look at the holding period and try to understand what it tells you about the financial health of the company. So this is all about the debtor and creditor holding period. I hope I could help you to understand the concept behind the holding period. However, if you have any question or need any sort of clarification, please let me know by mentioning the comment below. And if you feel the content of this video is benefited to you, please share this video with someone who actually needed it. Namaste.